Trailers. They are a thing that happens, and sometimes I take a look at them. And there was a new trailer out for the upcoming second season of House of the Dragon. And even before I look at this trailer, I am realizing there's already a problem. I don't remember all that much of the first season of House of the Dragon. I remember the existing king died. I remember that I got ticked off at a couple of the character deaths. I remember Matt Smith is an asshole in it, or his character is rather. Not a lot. I can remember none of the character names at this moment in time. That might not be as bad of an indicator, because honestly, I didn't remember most of the character names in Game of Thrones until like 3 seasons in. I'm better with faces than I am names. But yeah, here's the thing. It's not inherently a knock against my ability to enjoy something if I don't super remember the events of the previous season. However, some shows are designed on the assumption that you really remember the events of the previous season. This is actually something that I ran into with Disenchantment, of all things. I did like that show, but I still haven't gotten around to the 3rd season because I watched the first season, liked it, got to the 2nd season, and was liking it, but also felt like, oh, wow, you are expecting me to remember way more than I retained about the first season, and I just haven't done the 3rd one as a result, because I remember even less of the 2nd season than I do the 1st. I remember enjoying it as I watched it. It just didn't stick. And I remember overall thinking House of the Dragon was pretty decent. Oh boy, it didn't stick, though. And this is a more serialized story. That could be a problem. Oh, well, let's see the trailer anyway. I had to yammer on for a bit just because Warner Brothers used to be pretty good about not claiming stuff, and Warner Brothers owns HBO. Since the merger with Discovery and David Zaslav taking over, they've been assholes about copyright claim, so I'm not going to get to monetize this anyway. So I can ramble on regardless. I don't have to worry about how this performs in the algorithm. Screw you, Warner Brothers. Watch this be the one time they don't claim it. That'd be kind of funny, but they will.
The Targaryen who sits the Iron Throne is not just a king or a queen. They are a protector of the realm.
I mean, until they go mad, like they tend to.
I find myself in an impossible position.
All hail, King Aegon!
Oh, right!
The enemy usurped my throne.
That's right.
We're going to King's Landing. Well, what are we going to do about it?
We must play the board before us.
Proceed cautiously.
Fuck dignity!
Oh.
I want revenge.
See, I missed the diplomacy.
News spreads through the realm.
If we're gonna just
Houses will come to our side.
boiling it down to the action scenes,
I did not think they would be so eager to die.
which they probably won't do, but like that kind of feels like what that moment's saying.
Sail at your command.
The realm's only hope is in a leader strong enough to unite it.
Do you accept me as your queen and ruler?
I don't remember what their dynamic was. Crap.
This senseless war must end.
Shall never prevail.
Not like this.
Alicent holds love for our enemy. That makes her a fool.
And like, I don't have the time to rewatch the last season. I just don't.
The enemy without may be fought with swords. The enemy within is more insidious.
Some good shots.
There is more than one way to fight a war.
And there's all the battle stuff. Gotta get that in there.
War is coming. And neither of us may win.
I really think the dragons look best when there's nobody riding on them. The artifice of it really gets drawn when there's a person that I'm supposed to take seriously riding on the back of them. And I'm like, it like puts all the seams and the CGI and everything. That's a tangent, because watching that just made me realize how little I remember the previous season. And I know there will be a previously on House of the Dragon sort of thing at the front end. I know that. I'm gonna have to find like a YouTube video or something, somebody doing a proper recap over, I don't know, 20 minutes at least. I don't have the time to rewatch the previous season. I'd have time to watch that. But it's a solid piece of marketing, because it's leaning into the atmosphere that I certainly remember liking, not only from House of the Dragon, but from Game of Thrones when it was good. But it's hard to get pumped for something that so little stuck with me. It's actually kind of blowing my mind how little I remember of what happened in the previous season. And I don't think that's just me getting old. Maybe that's part of it, but I don't think it's just that. Like, there are things that with comparable episode numbers that I even just flat out didn't like, that I remember way more of. Most of the Chibnall episodes of Doctor Who leap to mind. I can probably name you all of those episodes off the top of my head. I guess it's unfair because I've technically watched all those at least twice, because I did revisit reviews. I don't know. There's lots of stuff that I can think of that I've seen relatively recently or in a similar time frame where I can remember a lot more specifics. Fallout, Has Been Hotel, Arcane, stuff that stuck with me. And maybe it's just because I came away from House of Dragon going like, yeah, it was pretty good. Because ultimately what it did was reminded me of when I liked Game of Thrones, which mostly makes me think about Game of Thrones and not nearly so much about what this thing actually is. I suppose that's the danger of banking something largely off of nostalgia, regardless of how good the story is or isn't. When your main pitch is like, it'll be like that thing you remember, you run the risk of me just going, yeah, that is like that thing I remember. I should revisit that thing I remember. And that thing I remember ends up not being the thing you just sold me, which made me remember the thing I remember. I hope you weren't playing any kind of drinking game where you took a shot every time I said remember, because you're in rough shape right now. Yeah. I'll try it when it comes out. I mean, I did the first season, might as well. There's other stuff coming out. I gotta decide if I'm gonna try The Acolyte or not. And I wanted to try and get to Dead Boy Detectives. I have not found the time to do that. I've got Doctor Who going on right now. At least X-Men 97 is wrapping up soon. Okay. I'm just letting my mind wander at this point. What did you think about this trailer? How well do you remember the events of the previous season? Am I the problem, or are they actually not super memorable? Or maybe it's that they're so reminiscent of stuff from Game of Thrones and that stuck in my head better. I'm kind of defaulting to that. I don't know. Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to do this as my living, even if you can't help me out that way. Like, share, subscribe. Don't worry too much about it, though. Take a relaxed attitude around here so you can come on back next time you need a break.
Now to give my thanks to my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Zubin Lutfula, Badasalida, Oliver B., Tarak, the Thing That Goes Doink in the Anime, Jean Foray, Ulrich Bogdan, Loki Eris, Melinda Walters, Jen, Auntie Kate 808, Becky Sparks, Bernabi Likes the Poodle, Tracy Scrabbit, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, White Bearish, Rosalind Bennett, Toka Blahuvian, Pal Barabajoggle, and Mara G. Thank you so much for your support. You can get your name said, maybe even correctly, in the Patreon support tiers. Also, it helps me feed these little buggers.